comment, rate, subscribe. Merch in the description. Check out our Facebook pages. We got marketplaces you can buy and sell stuff on.
So this is my Black Mass Saiyan Time Patrol Storm deck. 1 copy of the leader, 4 Mirror Clear Absorb, 4 Hatchet Everlasting, 4 Oceana Shenron, 4 Time Agent Vegeta, 4 Time Agent Trunks, 4 Shenron, Figure of Majesty, 4 Returning Evil Golden Frieza, 4 Goku the Rescuer, 4 Kibito Kai's Attendant, 4 Uneasy Alliance Goku, 3 Instant Transmission 10 times Kamehameha, 3 Raditz Giant Force, 3 Zeno Cosmic Unison, and 1 Pan Time Patrol Maiden. Obviously Zeno is mainly for his -5 ability for board wiping. I'm gonna make a video soon on how to beat Android 18 mill deck, and I found some useful stuff. So this is one way, this is one of the cards you can use to beat that strategy. And then what else? You notice that I have the Unisons and the Instant Transmission 10 times Kamehameha down at 3 because I'm trying to keep this deck a small 30 card deck. So I knock down the ratios of these cards. Because the Unisons are there because they're good and they're blue, so blue energy, right? So I didn't need that many copy of them since they're not crucial to the deck strategy. And Instant Transmission 10 times Kamehameha is reusable, so I don't really need that many copies. And this deck bursts, so it wouldn't be that hard to get this into the drop and reuse it. So 3 was enough. So there's that. Pan Time Patrol Maiden, such an awesome card. Hopefully it's not cheap. Hopefully it's like around $100 when she comes out, so I can scoop her up real quick. If not, I'll pay the price because she's very splashable, so she's definitely worth the price tag. But anyway, so the point here is that we're going to try to use her more than once. This is an old strategy that I was trying to do for a while, especially like in ramp decks and stuff. It's still a concept, it's still plausible. I haven't really played with it, but the idea is essentially with Storm, or Blue Storm as I called it at the time. And I had this idea. I think close to the end of 2019, something like that. And over time, certain ideas, certain cards kept coming into the game that kept making it more viable. So, the main idea, the idea of Storm is to play stuff over and over again, right? Since you can play Pan for free when there's 4 battle cards in play, counting yours and your opponent's. Since you can play her free, right? Play her for free. Swing with her, she's 40k, so that's very powerful right there. But your opponent's gonna have to, combo a lot to try to out combo it. Typically, you want to do this when your opponent's tapped out. Then you want to bounce her back to your hand, play her, and attack again. So it's the whole like flute concept, or the Bardock, 1-2 swap. So bounce it to the hand, play it, attack. Bounce it to the hand, play it, attack. And that was like always the idea. It's like, oh yeah, I want to do an attack Storm strategy. So now we got the Pan, and we, but we only have 1 copy of her. It'd be nice if we had 4, right? But we only have 1 copy, so we have to, find a way to kind of search her. So bursting, milling, is one way we can try to get to her, and then use our leader's awaken ability to add her back to our hand. So once we have her in the hand, then that's when we can, start having some fun, right? And that's when we can start playing her for free, swing with her, bounce with her hand, play her for free, swing with her, bounce with her hand, and so forth, and try to do that. You know what I mean? And one way of doing it, like we can try to do 3 attacks with her if we have like 6. If we have what I'm saying. If we have multiple copies of Kibito Kai, he has the ability that you switch them from active mode to rest mode, choose one of your battle cards and return to hand. Notice this battle card doesn't say the cost, just says battle card. Then choose one of your opponent up to one of your opponent's battle cards 3 costs or less and bounce it to their hand. So now you can bounce You can bounce himself to trigger his ability, but you don't want to do that. Obviously, you want to bounce Pan to play her again for free and then attack with her. And you know, if you have multiple copies of these, you can just do that multiple times. So that's one of the things you want to do. Another thing you can do is, like, obviously recycle him, because we have Uneasy Goku, which has the ability that when you play him, choose one of your battle cards other than Goku, and choose with an energy cost 3 or less, and one of your and one of your opponent's battle cards. Wait, I'm saying it wrong. Let me see. When you play this card, choose up to one battle card other than Goku, right, with an energy cost 3 or less, and return to those hand. Alright, so it lets you choose either your battle cards or your opponent's battle card, but it has to be 3 costs or less. So we can't use it on Pan, but we can use it on Kabito Kai. So we'll use it on Kabito Kai to add him back to our hand, and then we can swing with Goku because he's 15k body. Might as well take advantage of swinging with him, and then play Kabito Kai for 2, and then put him in rest mode, and then bounce back our Pan and go from there. With enough energy, right? If you have enough energy, you have the ability to, and eventually I'm gonna try this later on, especially with the ramp strategy of, what's his name? Since we have him, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the Super Warrior, how he ramps, so it wouldn't be that hard to get 10 energy. And just imagine the idea of attacking with Uneasy Goku over and over again, in a single turn, just by using Kabito Kai to bounce him. He will bounce Kabito Kai back, he'll attack, play this, rest it, bounce this back to your hand, play it, use this card's effect to bounce this back to your hand, attack with this, play this, right, put it into rest mode, bouncing this back to your hand, play this again, right, which lets you bounce this back to your hand, and then attack with this, and then play this, rest. You get the idea. So with enough energy, you can attack a lot just using these 2 alone. So with enough blue energy, you can do a lot. But what we're gonna do just mainly is just try to take advantage of, at least 2 Kabito Kais will be more than enough to pull off the strategy of being able to get her to attack more than once. Because not going to be the only battle card you're going to be swinging with. You can overwhelm and bring out Mirror Creator Absorb, so that way you have him to be able to go tall with, so he can be, let me see, you can get him at least at 50k. So he'll be 50k, she's 40k, you're swinging with them, right? And then use Kabito Kai to bounce her back to your hand, then swing with her again and get another attack. So you could, just even with just these 3 cards alone, you can get 1 50k and 2 40k swings on your opponent, right? So that's just that alone is good. We have Return Evil Golden Frieza. He's 25k double strike, right? He has the ability to auto, when you play this card, choose one of your battle cards and return it to your hand. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the deck. So that's pretty nice, the bottom decking capability. But of course, we play them because of the ability to bounce a card back to our hand. So we'll play Time Patrol, Maiden, right? Swing with her, play this, bounce her back to our hand, swing with him, right? Because he's 25k double strike, so try to take advantage of that. Then play her again, swing with her again. So there's synergy there, because we're playing her for free. So the idea is you're going to play her in the same turn. You're going to be playing these other cards, so that way we can try to get more than one attack off. So you play her, swing with her, play Frieza, bounce her back, swing with Frieza, then swing with her, right? So that you can get 3 attacks off of 2 battle cards. So not to mention the fact that you probably already have battle cards. But if you don't have battle cards, because we take advantage of our opponent having battle cards to play her for free, that gives us that advantage. So there's that. Goku, the Rescuer, he has the effect that when a battle card is returned to a player's hand by a skill, and he's not already in play, you can play him. So this is a free 15k body, right? That you can obviously take advantage of. So you'll play him, swing with him. Like obviously you can combine him with Kibito because you'll swing with him. Use Kibito to bounce him back to your hand, right? Then play Uneasy Goku. Uneasy Goku will bounce Kibito Kai back to hand. Because you bounce Kibito Kai back to hand, you can play the Goku Rescuer, swing with the Goku Rescuer, right? And if you have the ability to play Kibito Kai, then you can play, Kibito Kai, put him into rest mode, bounce the Uneasy Goku. That way, you have him. And of course he's a negate, so you can use him to negate an attack. And then when you play him, he has the ability to bounce, 3 costs or less from the field to the hand. You can use him to bounce your own cards. Another cute little no, that doesn't work the way I thought it. I was gonna say like combine this with Oceanus, but no, that wouldn't work. She's only 2 costs in your hand. Once she hits the field, she's back to 5. Of course, Kibito Kai does work with her, so that is one of the loops you can do. Obviously, use her Kibito Kai to bounce Oceanus back to hand. Play Oceanus, right? Since she's a blocker, she can block and protect Kibito Kai, so you can keep that little loop going, and then use the Black Mask Saiyan. If she, you did block to protect Kibito Kai, you can always use Black Mask Saiyan to add her back, and then use, and then just keep that little engine going where you can negate and block and protect him and all that good stuff. So there's synergy there. Obviously you can get a similar result if you play Oceanus on your opponent's turn, right? And then she's still in play. You can play your Frieza, bounce her back to your hand, so that way you can reuse her. So there's some reusability, like we're putting her to work. Just like we're using Pan to work, we're making these biddies put in some work over and over and over again. Of course, we got the Time Agent stuff, so we have the Vegix stuff, so we can get some Vegix action. We got Hachiac, so we can recycle and make sure we don't deck ourselves out by being able to put some stuff back into our some of our black cards back into our deck, except for Pan. But we don't want her back in our deck. We want her in our drop so we can add her back to our hand, obviously. Plus, Hachiac gives us the ability to, for free, just mill 2 cards from the top of our deck. So, burst 3 with the leader, then use this to burst 2 more and, try to get the Time Agents out there for free. Take advantage of that. We have Shenron Figure Majesty. This is just to help us, reuse our Kibito Kais, maybe even our Goku, because, like, when he's played, you get to bounce, a 3 costs or less, so we can use it to bounce back our Kibito Kai if we need to, so we can reuse them. But more likely we're going to typically use this just to reuse Kibito Kai. Another thing you can do with Kibito Kai, of course, is mentioned a little bit earlier, is that you can use Uneasy Goku and negate an attack, right? And use Uneasy Goku's ability, right, to bounce a 3 cost or less back to your opponent's hand, so you can potentially stop 2 attacks, right? And then on your turn, use Kibito Kai to bounce it back to your hand, so you can keep reusing it. And if you have to to try to protect them, you could play this, right, to negate an attack, and then use this his effect to bounce Kibito back to your hand, so your opponent can't attack it. And then next turn you just play it, put it into rest mode, bounce Goku back to your hand, and if your opponent tries to attack, negate the attack, bounce the Kibito, and just and so that's a 2 card loop right there. You're gonna need 4 energy to perform that loop over and over again, but you get the idea. Won't be that hard if you're stalling. So there's a little defensive loop there. So just like Kibito Kai with Oceanus, has a bit of a loop there, because you can stop an attack plus the blocker, so potentially 2 attacks with this and Kibito, so a lot of synergy in those things. This has the active main ability that we can pay 1 blue, send this card from your drop area to the warp, and then choose one of your blue battle cards with energy cost 3 or less, or up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 3 or less, and return to his hand. So this could bounce something from your opponent's side of the field, off the board, like a blocker, for example, or you could just use this to bounce your uneasy Goku back to your hand and replay it, or your Kabuto Kai, so you can reuse them, like for example in the time time patrol strategy, where you play her, swing with her, use this to bounce her back to hand, then play her again, swing with her, then use the 1 blue, warp this from your drop to bounce this back to your hand, then play this for 2, put them into rest mode, bounce her back to your hand, play her again, and swing with her again, get multiple attacks. So that's part of our strategy, just pouring our ultimate over and over again. So let's see, a mirror creator absorber, like I mentioned, helps you go tall, so you can just add that with pan, so that way you can get some big tall attacks out there. We got instant transmission stance that can negate an attack. It can be reused by warping 2 cards from our hand and playing 1 black energy. Raditz can unison can block 2 attacks because of its auto, and it's a blocker, and it has the -0 ability where you can draw a card and switch this card to active mode so you can attack with it, and then restand it so that we can block with it twice on your opponent's turn. It has a -2 ability to bounce one of your opponent's battle cards to the hand and switch 1 of your blue energy to active mode. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, Zeno -5, choose all cards in the battle areas. All battle areas. That also includes your own, so keep that in mind. And then ignore and bury, and then shuffle them into the owner's decks. So this will get rid of field cards and battle cards, including tokens, because tokens are battle cards, off the boards. Off the board. So that's the important thing. So that can come in handy against certain decks, and just good in general. And just in case you want to put cards back in your deck, right? So you don't deck out. So that's an option. And Time Maiden, of course, counterattack. If you have 3 or more energy, play this card. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the rest of the turn. You can't activate the counter skill of this card, of copies of this card for the game. So she's a limit 1 for the game. I don't know why they didn't write it that way, limit 1 for the game. But anyway, so you can only get her counter 1 time. So that's cool. We'll use it for that 1 time. But her being played, her permanent, which is for every battle card, her cost is reduced by 2. So if there's 4 battle cards, she's free. That's what we're going to take advantage of. That we always have access to. And then she has the active main. Pay 1, remove her from the game. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. So after you're storming her, right? Swapping her, whatever you want to call it. Pan storm, meaning your opponent, right? You can pay, if you have 1 energy left, pay 1 energy, and then send it to the warp. Grab 1 of your opponent's battle cards as an active mode and swing, and try to go for game that way if you haven't already gone for game. And everything else pretty much self-explanatory. Time Agent Trunks is a blocker. There's a 19k beater, plus as an active battle you pay 2. Choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and send it to the warp, so has defensive capabilities. This card has a couple effects, but the main one is you draw a card to activate the effects, and we mainly use this to bring back a 2 cost or less from our drop, which is mainly Kabuto Kai, so we can try to reuse them, because you want to have as many copies as possible. So being able to use this to keep bringing back Kabuto Kais from the drop, so you don't have to pay blue to get them on into the battle area, is a nice little basic trick. Another thing about it is, if you pay 4 to play this, right, like on turn 4 for example, and then use the effect to bring back Kabuto Kai, now you have 2 battle cards. So you just need your opponent to have 2 battle cards, and bang, there's 4. Now you can play Pan for free, swing with her, you put Kabuto Kai in rest mode, bounce her back to hand, play her again, and swing, right? Now let's say you haven't used her counter attack ability yet. So what you could do is play her that turn, like on turn 4, right, and swing with her. Use Kabuto Kai, bounce her back to your hand, then on your opponent's, and then wait until your opponent's turn, right? for you to drop this, especially if you end up in a scenario where like you try to do this trick, right? You play her, you're swinging with her, and you get what's it called? Your opponent hatchiacks you. You know, uses baby hatchiack against you, or let's say they even use a pan against you. Okay, then you use Kabuto Kai, bounce it back to your hand. Now on your opponent's turn, you pan them, right? Pan, you drop pan on them. Then on your turn, swing with her, bounce her back to the hand, right? You know, play her again, swing with her, right? Go that route. So a lot of things you could do. Just have some fun. You know, if you got some ways to improve this strategy, go ahead, do it. That's the end of the video.